With Perfect Record, you can personalize the appearance of your contracts so that contracts you send out look like your organization's contracts, with your logos, your language, etc. This is one of the first things that you're going to want to do before you send out any contracts to ensure that your contracts appear how you want when your opponents view them. To start building your contract template, head to the My Account page. Under the My Organization section in the upper right, click on the Edit My Contract Template button, and this will bring you to our Template Builder tool. Here on the left-hand side, you'll see a preview of what your contracts will look like when they're sent out. One thing to keep in mind, for this section in the middle of the contract with the details of the game, in this builder tool, it contains just sample information. This section on your actual contracts will dynamically change based on the specific information you choose to include in your individual contracts. So don't focus on what the individual fields in this preview say or which fields are visible, since those will change on a contract by contract basis. On the right-hand side is an accordion menu that you can use to edit the appearance of the contract template. Here in the top panel is your image library. Here you can upload images that you want to include on your template. You can click here in the box and you can select a file to upload, or you can just drag it from a folder you have on your computer into the box, and then it will upload that image. And then images you see down here in the uploaded images section, these are those images that are available for use in other parts of the template. In the font section, you can choose among a number of different options for the font you want to use for the text in your contract. You can choose Times New Roman, you can switch to Century Gothic. It's really whatever you prefer here. Each of the remaining sections here in the accordion panel control the appearance of a portion of the contract. You see as I hover over each of these sections, the corresponding portion of the contract is highlighted in yellow. You can also click on the contract preview itself to open its corresponding accordion pane. If I click up here in the header, it opens up the header row. If I click here in this middle part, it opens up body custom content because that's a section that controls that, and so on and so forth. Just please remember that you can't directly manipulate the contract itself from here in the preview. You have to use the corresponding accordion pane to make edits to the appearance of that section of the contract. I'm going to briefly walk through each of these sections to show you how they work, but before I do that, I want to look at a common functionality you're going to find in a number of those different sections. So let's go ahead and look at the Body Custom Content 2 section here, and right here is the common functionality you're going to see, where you can add as many different rows as you want to this section, and then for each row you can choose the content type and the appearance of that content. Let's go ahead and add a new row here to this Body Custom Content 2 section. So I click Add New Row, and now I get a new row, and my first choice is what type of content do I want to add, and my choices are text, image, or contest field. Let's stick with text, and for the text, go ahead and type in whatever you want here. You can just put in whatever information you want, and you can see whatever you type is reflected here in the contract. And then you can adjust the size of this text with the size drop down here. You can make it very small if you want, or you can make it very, very big. It's entirely up to you. You can also adjust the formatting and the alignment. You can center it, you can bold it, you can caps it. You can also add spacing to separate it from the text above it if you want. Again, you have full control. The next type of content you can add is an image. So if you select image from this content type dropdown, now under the content dropdown, you have the different images that you uploaded in your image library. Let's say I want to add this NCAA logo in. So I click the NCAA logo, and you can see that logo up here on the contract. It's really tiny right now, so let's use this size slider and we can adjust the size of that image. We can make it bigger. Oh, that's too big. I want to make it a little smaller. You can adjust it as you want with this slider. You can also adjust the alignment. You can left align, you can center align, you can right align. Again, you have that control. The last type of content you can select is a contest field. Now this is similar to the information that shows up in the contest field table here. This is dynamically generated content based on the individual information on the specific contract. So on this content dropdown, I can choose from the different fields in the contract. If I select opponent name, it's going to put the opponent name here. And say I was playing a game against Bob's University, it would say Bob's University. If I choose sport name, if I was playing a men's basketball contract, it would be, say, men's basketball here. And again, you can also control the size and the formatting of this same way you could with text. So you're going to see this functionality in a number of different sections where you can add different rows, and then you can choose the content and the appearance of each of those rows. So let's take a brief look at each of the individual sections here, and we'll start at the top with the header row. The header row is sort of your letterhead across the top of the page, and you have three different layouts you can choose from. You can choose single item, 2 items that are left aligned and center aligned, or 3 items left, center, and right aligned. We default to having 2 items selected because this is one of the most common formats that we've run across, with the department logo up at the top and then the name of the institution in the center. Now remember, you can add rows of text underneath each of these items. So let's say you wanted to put the department address underneath the center item. So I can go ahead under the center item section, I can click add row, I can go ahead and type in my address, and you'll see the address is going to appear right here underneath that center item. The next section here is body custom content. This is sort of that introductory language you see on all contracts. Almost every contract I've seen has some variation of this text. It defaults to athletic contest agreement between home school and away school. And again, you can keep this as it is if you want, or you can adjust it and personalize it. It's entirely up to you. The next section is the contest field section. All you can do here is you can adjust the appearance of the different labels for these fields. You can choose caps or underline. Just remember that, again, these fields are dynamically generated depending on the individual contract you're sending out, but here you can just adjust the labels of those fields. Body custom content 2 is the next section. This is exactly the same as body custom content, except it appears right below the contest field section. Let's go ahead and remove the information I was using for the demo before. And the next section below that is the signature block. And here you again have text rows that you append right to the top of the signature block. You can also choose to include the names above the signature or not. And you can also choose whether or not you want to have text immediately below the signature line. The footer content appears right below the signature block, and this functions exactly the same as body custom content and content 2. It's that same functionality with you add rows and then edit your content. And then the final section, bottom footer row, here you can include a number of pieces of content tiled horizontally across the bottom. And this is great for schools that have maybe a number of different conference affiliations and want to include all of those logos across the bottom of the contract. To add a new item horizontally, click this add new row item button, and then you have a new section. You see second item, and I can go ahead and choose an image, and I can select the image I want. Let's choose that NCAA logo, and you can see it shows up right there. And then I can adjust the size and make it appear how I want. And you can add as many different row items as you want. So after you've made all your changes and you're happy with what the contract looks like, go ahead and scroll to the top of the accordion, click the preview button, and this time you get a window with, again, a final preview of what this contract is going to look like. If you're happy with it, go ahead and click this save and finish button, and then you're all set. Any contract you send out after that will show up on this template that you just created. At any time, if you want to update this template, just go ahead and re-access the tool. You'll see the existing template and you can make any changes you want.